Imagine you are a teacher. Dalawang students ang pumasok sa classroom mo. One student uses a wheelchair and one who struggles to read. If both are in your class, paano mo masisigurong pareho silang matututo at makakaramdam na kabilang sila sa classroom? Okay, that's good. Para masigurong parehong matuto ang mga students, the school and the teacher must provide proper support, accessible facilities, appropriate teaching strategies, and a respectful environment. Let me read to you our objectives. At the end of the learning activity, learners will be able to describe the dimensions of special and inclusive education, give the importance of the dimensions of special and inclusive education, and lastly is to analyze a case applying these dimensions in a classroom settings. Okay, sa mga larawang ito, ano ang napapansin at nakikita nyo? Okay, that's a good observations. Sa mga larawang ito, nakikita at napapansin natin na mayroong mga ramps, a toilet or comfort room with handles, and a student with visually impaired, but still the teacher provided him or her a textbook to learn, and also a teacher guided her students to learn. And this is where inclusivity happens. So why do you think is it important to understand inclusion not only in theory but also in practice? Okay, let me answer. Okay, ako na lang magsasagot. It is important because inclusion should not only remain as an idea, it must be applied in real classroom situations. Teachers need to know how to adjust teaching strategies, provide support, and create an environment where all learners can participate and succeed. So, so what is dimensions? Dimensions is it describes the areas where inclusive education is applied and monitored. Sa inclusive education, ang dimensions ay tumutulong para makita natin kung saang areas dapat i-apply ang inclusion tulad ng school environment, teaching strategies, social relationships, policies ng school, at ethical practices. Ibig sabihin, ang inclusive education ay hindi lang tungkol sa pagtanggap ng students, kundi pati sa environment, teaching, rules at treatment sa kanila. Can a school say it is inclusive if only the teacher adjusts but the school facilities are not accessible? Okay, that's a good idea. Hindi pa rin fully inclusive ang school kung ganun. Kasi the definition of inclusive is for all. Dapat lahat can access, can learn, and hindi mahihirapan sa kanilang learning. Kahit nag-a-adjust ang teacher, mahihirapan pa rin ang learners kung hindi accessible ang facilities ng school tulad ng walang ramp or accessible restroom for students with using wheelchairs. Next is the importance of dimensions in special and inclusive education. First is guide for teachers. It helps teachers go beyond just teaching content. It allows them to look at the whole learning situation. Hindi lang pagtuturo kundi pagtiyak na lahat ay natututo. So, how these dimensions guide teachers in inclusive classrooms? Tinutulungan nito ang teachers na ma-realize na ang students ay may iba't ibang needs at abilities, kaya dapat gumamit ang teacher ng iba't ibang teaching strategies at flexible assessments. Second is it helps schools become more or it become inclusive. It serves as a checklist for schools to evaluate if they are practicing inclusive educations. Ang dimensions ay nagsisilbing guide or checklist para sa schools para makita kung ang kanilang facilities, teaching practices, policies at school environment ay supported sa lahat ng learners. Halimbawa nito, are facilities accessible? May ramps ba? May handrails ba para sa mga students na may wheelchair? And are there inclusive policies? May rules ba laban sa mga discrimination? And third is promotes equality. It ensures that no learner is left behind and everyone is given equal opportunities. For example nito, a learner with dyslexia may take an oral exam instead of a written test. So instead na written exam yung ibibigay mo sa lahat, pero meron kang student na may dyslexia, ay pwede mong gawan siya ng ibang task or pwede oral exam. So, makakasabay na siya at the same time makakatake pa siya ng exam same as others. And lastly, it helps in decision making. It guides, sabi ko nga kanina, it guides teachers and schools and making better decisions about teaching strategies, assessments, and classroom management. A teacher adjusts instruction because learners have different needs. May iba't iba tayong mga students, kaya may iba't iba din silang pangangailangan. So it ensures that everyone are included to a classroom or in school. And the students may learn and feel better and feel included in the classroom settings. Okay, we have different types of dimensions of special and inclusive education. One of these is the structural dimension. It refers to the physical environment and infrastructure of the school. Physical accessibility of schools, for example, ramps, handrails, tactile indicators, accessible restrooms. It ensures that all learners, regardless of physical ability, can enter, move, and participate safely and independently in school spaces. Dapat ang schools ay may facilities na makakatulong para ma-access ng lahat ng learners ang iba't ibang areas ng schools. For example, ramps for wheelchair users, wide spaces for movement, proper seating arrangement, handrails and comfort rooms, accessible restrooms, and tactile indicators for visually impaired learners. Ito ay mahalaga para ang learners with disabilities ay makagalaw at makapag-participate sa schools independently. Halimbawa nito, a grade 9 learner using a wheelchair can independently go from the classroom to the library because ramps and handrails are installed in school. So what problems might students with disabilities face if schools do not provide accessible facilities? Kung walang accessible facilities, mahihirapan ang learners na makakapasok sa classrooms, makapunta sa ibang areas ng school o makasali sa activities dahil dito maaari silang makaramdam ng exclusion. The second dimension is the instructional dimension. It focuses on how teaching and learning are delivered. Its use of assistive technology, for example, screen readers, braille, calculators, and etc. Ito ay nakatuon sa paano nagtuturo ang teacher at paano natututo ang students sa classroom. Sa inclusive classroom, kailangan ng teacher na mag-adjust ng teaching strategies para matugunan ang iba't ibang learning needs ng students. These may include differentiated instruction, assistive technology, flexible assessments. Because not all learners the same way, so teaching should not be one size fits all. The teacher should be flexible. Halimbawa nito, a student with dyslexia is allowed to answer orally instead of writing. So, kasi ang yung dyslexia is a student or a person with difficulties in reading, writing, and spelling, and it is instead of writing, so the teacher adjusts her strategy to make the student makasabay sa kanilang task or sa kanilang learning. So, instead of writing through orally na lang. So, kasi hindi lahat ng students ay dapat i-assess sa parehong paraan. May iba't ibang abilities at learning styles ang students. Kaya mahalaga ang flexible assessment para mabigyan sila ng fair opportunity na may pakita ang kanilang learning. The third one is the social dimensions. It focuses on relationships, interactions, and the emotional environment in the school. It promotion of peer relationships and inclusive social interaction. So, ang social dimension ay tumutukoy sa relationships at interactions ng students sa school. Sa inclusive education, mahalaga na ang bawat learner ay makaramdam ng acceptance, respect, at support mula sa classmates. It ensures that all learners feel accepted, respected, and valued. It also promotes belongingness and positive peer relationships because inclusion is not just being present, it is feeling accepted and connected. For example, peer support, teamwork, and respect for diversity. Of activities with the equal roles, peer support or body system, and also anti-bullying programs. For example, a learner with autism is included in group work and supported by classmates. Mahalaga ang support dahil nakakatulong ito para ang learners ay makaramdam ng acceptance at confidence. Kapag supportive ang classmates, mas nagiging comfortable ang learners na mag-participate sa activities at nakaka-learn sila ng mabuti sa kaklase at sa classroom.
Next dimension is the policy and governance dimensions. This dimension refers to the laws, policies, and administrative actions that ensure inclusive education is properly implemented in schools. This dimension highlights the legal mandates and education policies that enforce education. And also, this is the monitoring and evaluation systems to ensure compliance with inclusive practices. This dimension answers the question, are schools following the laws on inclusive education? So inclusive education cannot really succeed if it only depends on teachers' kindness, school and classroom climate or environment. It must also be supported by law, school leadership, and monitoring systems. Some of the policies here in the Philippines ensure inclusive education. These are already been discussed by the previous reporters, such as the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 14, Section 1, Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, Inclusive Education Act, and DepEd Order Number 36 Series of 2016. Since these are already discussed with the previous reporters, now we're going to the examples. For example, a school receives a learner with visual impairment. The administration coordinates with DepEd for Braille materials, provides teacher training on inclusive strategies, and monitors the learner's progress through regular meetings. Is this a weak or a strong policy and governance? Yes, this is a strong policy and governance implementation because, as you can see, laws are followed and the administration ensures support systems exist. Because of this, the learner accesses the curriculum, participates in class activities, and feel included or sense of belonging in school life. Another example, a public school refuses to enroll a student with hearing impairment because they don't have a SPED teacher. This clearly shows a violation of the policy and governance dimension. Why? Because under Inclusive Education Act, schools must accommodate learners with disabilities. So instead, what the school should do is enroll the learner, coordinate with DepEd for support services, and provide reasonable accommodations such as written instructions, visual learning materials, and peer support. The last dimension is the ethical dimension. The ethical dimension focuses on the moral responsibilities of teachers and schools when working with learners. This dimension emphasizes respect, dignity, and learner-centered practices. This ensures that learners are treated fairly, valued as individuals, and supported according to their needs. This means that educators should avoid discrimination, protect learners' self-esteem, and support their learning needs. First is the respect. Respect means recognizing that every learner has value regardless of ability, disability, background, or learning pace. Teachers should listen to learners' needs, avoid humiliating remarks, and treat all students fairly. Dignity. Dignity means protecting the learner's self-worth and emotional well-being. Learners should never feel ashamed because of their disability or difficulty. Learner-centered approach. This means teaching methods should adapt to the needs of the learners. The teacher should not force learners to adjust to rigid teaching methods. This is where teachers should differentiate instruction, provide accommodations, and consider learners' abilities and strengths. For example, Miguel has dyslexia and asks for oral exam or additional time. The teacher refuses and says all students must take the same test at the same time. So is this ethical? Of course. This is not ethical and not inclusive because it ignores the learner's specific learning need, and inclusive education requires reasonable accommodations. Giving Miguel extra time does not give unfair advantage. Instead, it provides equal opportunity, or this is called equity. What the teacher could do is allow extended time, allow oral responses, and provide simplified interactions for Miguel to have an inclusive education. This supports fairness, dignity, and learning success.